In today's video, I'm going to be unveiling the hidden threats to your financial dreams, the surprising culprits that are sabotaging your wealth building efforts. But before we get too far into those things, who is this video for? So this video is for couples out there who know that they make good money but can't or struggle to save. You might find yourself in a cycle of saving well and then it all falls apart. Or couples who are sick of watching their money disappear as well. Even couples where one of you handles the household budget and bill paying on their own, wishing that you could have some help. Maybe one of you is a spender and the other is a saver, almost seemingly working against each other. Or couples who want the security of having a full savings account. You can sometimes save, but you would love for the money to actually stay in the account. Just having that feeling of safety that whatever happens, you're going to be okay. Or even couples who feel that looking after money is hard, stressful, and emotionally taxing. It feels like you're pushing a big old boulder up a hill. Or even couples who wonder why their budget never matches real life. You're always having to transfer money out of your savings to pay for things. You're always robbing Peter to pay Paul. Or even couples who want more time to do the things that you love. Or even if you've been following me for a little while now and kind of wondering, well, what is it you exactly do, Josh? Well, basically, I help couples save crazy amounts of money in short spaces of time. And here are just some examples. So Matt and Katie, Brenton and Janelle, also Trevor and Tegan, all got to $15,000 in the bank in just 8 weeks. We have Leah and Beth, who got to $8,000 in the bank in 12 weeks after living pay to pay, not saving at all. And then Jacob and Georgia, they got to $11,000 in the bank in just 14 weeks, whilst Georgia was on maternity leave. Incredible. Or even Tom and Kel, who got to $37,000 in the bank in just 12 weeks. Like, all of these couples had different circumstances and various things going on in their lives. Some have young kids, others have teenage kids, some don't even have kids yet. So some were on maternity leave, like I spoke about, some were in the middle of changing jobs, and they all lived in different areas with different living costs. The truth is that it doesn't really matter. This system works across the board and, across many different situations. So if you're stuck or sick of sucking at saving money, not having money to enjoy yourself or invest in your future, not being able to create lasting, life-changing wealth, then you are in the right place. So who am I and how am I able to help couples achieve these results? Well, my name is Josh Redman. I'm an ex-financial planner and I'm tired of the system being stacked against everyday people. And with more than 10 years experience in this space, I'm here to help couples save crazy amounts of money in a short space of time and grow serious personal wealth, helping them put the power of their money back in their hands. Now, recently I've delved into a fascinating concept of financial robbers. And if you've been watching any of my videos, you're probably familiar with that term, financial robbers. But these robbers are sneaky. They're insidious forces and undermine our ability to accumulate wealth and live the lives we truly deserve. And during more than 10 years in finance, I've had the opportunity to identify 8 major financial robbers that plague many of us on a daily basis. These robbers work against our best efforts, oftentimes without us even realizing it, and can be the biggest obstacle standing in the way of financial freedom or the financial future that you want. So no matter how hard we work, we may find ourselves falling short on our financial goals because of these financial robbers. Therefore, it's crucial that we identify them and take swift action to eliminate them from our lives as soon as possible. If you want to achieve true financial independence and enjoy the fruits of your labor while you're young enough to enjoy it, we must prioritize the identification and eradication of these financial robbers above all else. So without further ado, let's dive into the top 8 financial robbers and see how many of these you can recognize in your own life. Overspending. So it's human nature actually to spend every last dollar we make. That's why when we get a promotion or move to a better paying job, nothing really changes. Your life remains the same. Your consumption will always rise to meet your capacity, meaning that your spending will always meet your earning. And if we do nothing about this spending, when it's actively working against what we want to achieve, robbing us of our potential, it becomes a serious problem. We live in a world that wants us to spend every last dollar we have. So you need to understand your own emotional state and triggers to avoid spending that goes against your plan, against what you're trying to achieve. If you're someone who struggles with overspending, you've probably never really had a clear understanding of where your money's going, almost on purpose, like you're trying to avoid looking at it in detail, trying to avoid any sort of guilt or shame, but you are hyper aware that money is regularly being wasted. So what we do here in my program is we give people powerful tools to take control of their spending and get a firm understanding of the triggers that lead them to overspending. Cutting back doesn't work. See, most couples suck at saving because they believe that to save, they must deprive themselves of the things that they love, the things that they enjoy. This makes saving a painful experience and something that you have to endure. And if you're someone who is focused on cutting back, it makes the work hard, like so much harder than it has to be. Like you're pushing that big old boulder up a hill. You're just constantly having to push yourself. It also makes life cheap and boring, leaving you making choices to stay at home and do nothing, right? Nobody wants to live like this. And the truth is that you don't actually have to. See, when it comes to growing wealth, what we do here in my program is we focus on things that are more important, things that bring greater success, lasting change, and won't suck the joy out of your journey. They will actually add to the joy that you experience. Knowledge doesn't equal action. More knowledge actually won't change your financial situation. A bit hard to believe, but if knowledge was enough, all we would have to do is know how to budget our money more effectively, and then we would see success, right? But that's not what actually happens. Couples who struggle with this often find themselves in, multiple Facebook groups, bought multiple money books like Barefoot Investor or anything by Dave Ramsey, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or, even bought a couple of courses about budgeting or investing. It's like an overload of information, believing that breakthrough is just around the other side of understanding something else or gaining that little bit of extra knowledge. But what we do here in my program is that we stop trying to stuff more knowledge in an already crowded space and start to engineer key behaviors based on what you want to achieve, behaviors that actually facilitate change. Being apathetic. So being indifferent, having a lack of enthusiasm about your money is going to ensure that you never really achieve anything worthwhile. If you have a few failures under your belt, if you've spent any amount of time not being able to make your money work or being able to get on top of it all, there is the potential for apathy to sneak in. If you're someone who is apathetic, you could right now be dealing with negative thoughts about your current financial situation, towards your money or even your own ability and confidence within your own ability with money. Even crippled by a fear of failure or a fear that you're inferior, incompetent, inadequate, or worthless. Maybe something happened to you or someone that you care about, or you feel worn down just by tedious money tasks as well. So what we do here within my program is we look to break down everything into its simplest form, get you an understanding of your true financial potential and work out how to make that happen. Ensuring that we celebrate the wins we experience along the way together. Accountability is like having insurance for your goals, making sure you actually achieve them. It's powerful when it's harnessed in a healthy way, but a lack of accountability makes sure you never enjoy your wealth creation journey and you never achieve anything, basically. When people think about accountability, it's something that's not really appealing. It's like the unsexy side of trying to achieve something. Even more so if it's accountability for something we don't actually want or change that we believe will be hard. Yes, it's easier to exist without it, because you won't disappoint yourself or anyone else, but that's not any way to live. A couple who's struggling with a lack of accountability quite often has one partner feeling like they're the only one doing the work. Even sometimes like they are keeping their partner on a leash, giving them an allowance each pay, whilst trying to make their financial dreams happen, right? And honestly, feeling like they are probably the only one who wants to achieve the goal that's been set, and quite often sometimes they're the ones who've set that goal in the first place. But what we do here in my program, in this situation, is look to create a compelling picture of the financial future that you both actually want, ensuring that you've both bought into making that future happen. We also look to ensure that you both have an understanding of everything that is happening now, but also the things that need to be done on a regular basis. Now, obviously, having financial goals is a good thing, but done the wrong way can ensure you never, ever achieve them. Couples who struggle with setting financial goals or do them the wrong way, in a fleeting moment of motivation, might find themselves writing something down on a bit of paper, on the notes section on their phone, and then they walk away. Then time comes along or continues along as it always does, leaving you wondering why you didn't achieve your goals. You're either too ambitious when you set them or too realistic and set them nice and small. But when it comes to setting goals in my program, we look to structure your goals in a way that actually inspires action. We make a plan to make them happen, but also look to ensure that we revisit them regularly, that plan regularly, tracking our progress, also ensuring that we remain fluid in our approach to the goals that we've set, knowing full well that life never quite goes to plan. But that doesn't mean you don't make a plan. We all have very unique, persuasive experiences growing up to do with money. Even between you and your partner, those experiences are very, very different. But we need to know the impact growing up has on how we handle money now. Those unique, persuasive experiences lead us to pull meaning from those experiences, right? These become the stories we tell ourselves, and beliefs are formed around that meaning or the stories that we tell ourselves. This process has happened hundreds of thousands of times as we've grown up. Then as we, grow up and get older, those beliefs are continually confirmed through what is called confirmation bias. We already believe those things, and the experience that we have, we manipulate the story or the meaning that we pull from those experiences as an adult to marry up with the beliefs that were formed when we were growing up. So if you're someone who deals with this and you can be honest with yourself, you'll be able to see you constantly sabotage your best efforts, almost on a subconscious level, unaware that you're doing it. You could be doing better, but constantly feel like you're being held back by something. You've never been able to do any better than what you currently are. So my program, when we deal with this, we revisit the things you remember. We unpack the stories you tell yourself now based on those experiences and identify any subconscious contradictions you may have, and look to ensure that everything, absolutely everything we believe about money is true and empowering. The next thing is that money is so much more than numbers on a spreadsheet or budget. You see, when we learn about money, the focus is heavily on numbers. Working out your income and expenses, making sure you're spending less than what you make. And if you're not, you've got to cut back, right? But if this is you, you've probably spent countless hours staring at spreadsheets. You're constantly changing your budget and moving money around to pay for things and always looking to cut back more, focusing on every last dollar. But the truth is, money is more than numbers. Yes, it's overwhelmingly taught as a maths-based field. I understand that, where you put your figures and data into a formula and it tells you what to do. But there's a big assumption at that point that you will just go and do it, But knowing what to do, knowing the numbers tells you nothing about what happens in your head when you try. Viewing money as just numbers ignores the very human element to our money, an element that is full of emotion and nuance because we are. So what we do in my program here is that we give people powerful tools to take control of the human element of our money. Without bridging the gap between you both, you will continue to undo each other's work, almost unintentionally working against each other. And whether you argue about money or not, we need to remove any tension between the two biggest drivers of your wealth, which is the two of you. When it comes to money within your relationship, if this is you, normally one of you is the spender or the other is a saver, or another scenario that I come across all the time is that one partner is a dreamer, the big picture thinker, always wanting and promising these big things, and the other is all about the details, right? and finds it hard to see how anything the dreamer suggests or says is possible is actually going to happen. Desperately wanting to know just what the next 1 or 2 steps are. But when it comes to your relationship, in my program, we look to get you both working really, really well together around money. Get you both on the same page, heading in the same clear direction, both fully aware of what your roles are and what's happening with your money. But we look to bridge the gap between you both. You guys manage your life together, a house together. You might even be raising children together right now. So why not money? That really should be an area that we do together well. Well, if you've made it this far, we've gone through all of our top 8 financial robbers, and you've watched all the way to the end here, basically. Basically, from this point forward, there's 2 ways to go from here. If this is something you want to explore a little more and find out what you could do, I want to encourage you to complete the Wealth Potential Calculator. It's a great free tool that reveals what you can do in just 12 weeks, all right? Or if you already have your results and you're sitting with them at the moment and you want to know if this will work for your unique situation, we can have a private conversation about that. I'm going to make sure that the link to the Wealth Potential Calculator or for booking a call is somewhere here. So click on the one that's relevant for you and go from there. All right. But that's it, guys. I hope you got some value out of this, and I look forward to talking with you very soon. See ya.